guys, it's Christine from Hollis Hands Create, and I'm back for episode number 2. Welcome to my channel. Today is Wednesday, December 4th. Thank you so much for the kind welcome that everyone extended to me after my intro video. I really appreciate your kind comments, the positivity, the new subscribers. It's really overwhelming, and I appreciate it. And it is nice, I guess, when you're in an online world, and it's nice to be able to put a face or a voice to someone that you've spoken to through the methods that we all talk to each other. So it was really super nice, and this is kind of a nerve-wracking thing, and so I really appreciate all of the positivity and just the super nice comments. And so I'm back. It was a good thing, I guess, right? So this is, like I said, this is episode number 2, as Teresa would say, lucky number 2. So here we go. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. We did. We traveled to Missouri to my family to visit, and I think we had like maybe 23 or something like that for Thanksgiving dinner, which was really nice. The interesting thing is now both my sisters have grandkids, and so we had like 5 children there that range from a couple of months old to 4. And it just reminded me of when my sisters and brother and I, we were the parents there with the little kids chasing after them, and now it's just interesting to see, that next generation kind of running around. But it was fun. We had a good time. We went up on Wednesday and came back on Sunday. We left really super early Sunday morning so we could get back here in time for the football games to start. Wouldn't want to miss those. So anyway, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, or if you didn't celebrate with family, but just a nice restful day. It's really good. So this time of year can be a bit of a rat race, and of course as Black Friday kicks everything off, it's kind of crazy. So one of the things that we did, that my sister and I have an older sister and a younger sister, so I'm in the middle. And one of the things that we try to do every year is go to Silver Dollar City, and we try to always go during the Arts and Crafts Festival in October, which I did fly up so that we could actually go to that the last weekend of the festival, and that was a good time. Both sisters and I went. But this time on Black Friday, just my little sister and I, or my younger sister I should say, and I decided about 3 o'clock to drive down, and it was kind of a rainy day, but it wasn't raining, so that was good. And so we bundled up, coats and gloves and hats and just the 2 of us. We went down because to see the lights at Silver Dollar City when the city is all lit up is just so beautiful. And they have a brand new big tree that we wanted to see, and that tree starts its lighting with the music, and they have a lot of like Trans-Siberian Orchestra music that they have the lighting all choreographed to, and it kicks off at like 5:20 p.m. and then every 15-20 minutes it cycles through. So it's really cool. This tree is ginormous. I think it's something like 80 feet, or I don't know. It's some crazy thing, but it's just ginormous, and there's a parade and everything, so it's really fun. But because of the rainy weather, a lot of people had stayed away. So we got down there around, maybe 4 o'clock, and there was like hardly anybody in there, which normally the city would be packed. So it was super nice. We went into some places where we were the only 2 people, or maybe there's 1 or 2 other people in there with us. So it was just great. And we know where all the shops are that we like to go to. We know where the food things are that we want to go to, because we go down there so often. So that was just super fun. And it was just she and I, which was nice because that's just rare. I don't even remember the last time that it was just the 2 of us doing anything. So really, it was really fun. We really enjoyed that. One of the things that we did, and I'm going to kick off haul, or my stash enhancement, as I like to say. with this is because one of the stores that I have to go into every time is Miss Kate's Quilt Shop. And so Kate is actually winding things down for the season, so she hadn't changed much or hadn't really added things since I was there at the end of October, but I kind of wanted to see, if maybe she had some deals on some of the things that she did have left over, or maybe some of the fabrics that were getting down to the end of the bolt, she then starts turning them into fat quarters, and she had her fat quarters for like, I don't know, $1.75 or something like that, so it was a good price. So I did pick up, one fat quarter, which was really nice, and that super cute fabric. Love that little snowman guy. He's really neat. So I'll kind of open it up a little bit so you can kind of get a better idea. But anyway, so I thought that would be really nice for, I don't know, some kind of like just to throw into a strip quilt, or maybe use, as finishing fabric. Something like that. I'll come up with something for it. Add it to my fabric stash. One of the other things that she had in there, because I always like to look for her kits. She has really good kits from a lot of different, like Primitive Gatherings and the Thread Gatherer and Rachel's and things like that. So I wanted to look at her kits. But one of the things that she had was she had these placemats, which were done like ornaments, and they were like $9 a piece. And I was kind of looking at them, but she only had 3, and then she had the model, which she wasn't selling. But then I noticed that the book was right behind there. So I got this book, and it's just a leisure arts book for placemats, but look at this. Isn't this adorable? So that's the placemat, and then here's the ring, and you have a coordinating fabric napkin that you put in, and you can see, look at that. Look at the little watermelons. So this is a ice cream cone. There's just all kinds of things. So I thought, I'm going to get the book. It was $12, and then I can make all kinds. And I think there's 6 different patterns in here to make. So I thought, all right, I'm getting the book. So that was kind of cool. And I have tons of fabric, so that's not a problem to come up with fabric to do something like that. So anyway, so one of the other places, so that was all my haul that's kind of craft related from Silver City. I got some other things, but they're not really craft related types of items. So, but one of the other stores or the other places that I always go to every time we go up home is FM stores. And it's, I guess FM maybe is Fabric Mart. It's huge, and they have all kinds of things like monster size bolts of maybe leather, or if you're looking for upholstery fabric, or if you're wanting to do curtains, or there's even wedding gown lace, there's suit pant material, there's, just all kinds of things. But there's a whole quilting section as well. There's a fleece section, there's a flannel section, you name it, they've got it in there. Now, the flannel and fleece and a lot of those things, they have like the pro teams, hockey, NFL, baseball, those kinds. So those stay fairly current. But I have noticed that some of the quilting things, it might be last year's designs, which, I really don't care if they're this year or last year's. So I'll always go in and see what I can find. And so I did pick up some fabrics. Now I got this in the 3 different colorways. But isn't that cute? Little skates with the little holly. So I got these 3. And I looked it up online, and they were running, I think it was $11 a yard I saw online. And this is from Prairie, it's a Benartex. 100% cotton, and I got it for $5.99 a yard, regular price, and then she had 20% off because it was Black Friday. Can't beat that. And then I just picked up another one for some finishing fabrics, or again to throw in maybe for a strip quilt or something like that. You can always, whenever something appeals to me, you know what, you get it then, because if you go back, it's going to be gone later. So anyway, I got those kinds of things to add to my fabric collection, my stash enhancement. And then one of the other things that I had picked up, and I actually posted this on my Instagram page, McMama Hollis, was I was in Hobby Lobby, and I had gone in for something, I don't know, papers or something completely different, but I had to wander over to the fabric and stitching section, and I got this ribbon. Now it's about 2.5 inches. Yeah, 2.5 inches by 18 feet, and it's wired. You can see the gold edge, and it, you know, you can bend it, right? But look at the center. You see that weave? And I thought, I can stitch on that. So I got some of it. It was around $8, and they have it always 50% off. And then I think I had another coupon for something. So anyway, it was, you know, $2-3. So Cecilia Turner from Heart and Hand has just started a newsletter, and I subscribed to it, and she sent out some free graphs as kind of a thank you to all of her customers. I think she's wrapping up the year, but wanted to you know, establish a way to stay in touch with people who love her designs. And she had, her first one she put out was Mary. So I stitched it on this band, and it turned out really nice. I was really happy with it. So I think what I'm going to do is on this end put in some little candy canes, or I don't know, may even just repeat the design, because then I can fold this. I'm going to actually just wrap it. I have another like wooden Christmas tree kind of deal that I thought, well, I can make it into some kind of a little thing at the top and have it be like, you know, your ribbon that maybe you run down your trees, depending upon how people do trees. But anyway, I just thought that worked out so cute. And gosh, you can't beat cross-stitch fabric for $2 or $3, right? And just different designs. One of the things that's been so fantastic about the social media and FlossTube and all these kinds of things is the creativity that everybody's sharing and the ideas. So now when you see something, you're looking at it, the traditional way of using it is maybe completely different now, especially in the stitcher's brain, because we're like, what can we stitch on, and what can we, you know, fix something with, or, you know, just whatever. And so the creativity is just fantastic. It just makes you look at things in a whole different way. So anyway, so I've been working on that. So the last things that I have for my stash enhancement to show you, I picked up a Butternut Road, Told in the Garden. Gosh, and this is from 1991, y'all. Catch the Wind. My daughter, who's almost 30, every time we would be somewhere, she would go into a shop, it seemed like she would see this one and go, oh, Mom, I really like that one, you know. And for some reason, I was like, you know, and I would see something else and end up getting it. So I ended up picking this up. I think I got this one on Stash and Load. It's either Stash and Load or eBay, I'm not sure, for like $2. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to get this. Maybe she's going to have kids at some point. I would love some little granddaughters. And it would make a really sweet design for a girl's room. So anyway, I got that one. And then the other one that I picked up, now this one was on eBay, was Snow Days, Mirabilia Snow Days. I love this. So I got that, and every time I see Pam and Steph, and when it's time for them to put up their winter and Christmas wall behind them, she has this one stitched, and, you know, it's right there, and I just absolutely, you know, love it. It's so nice. So I thought, you know what, I have to get this, and again, I saw it pop up on eBay. You know, I think it was probably about $16. I think it was on the buy it now, and so I got it. And the sticker obviously on it says $8, so I paid more than, you know, I would have if I had bought it originally, but that's what happens when you don't buy something when you see it, and you should have. So the other thing that I'm kind of launching into is I want to start some punch needle. So I bought a Morgan stand, and I got an Ultra Punch. I ordered them on Amazon. And Liz Matthews, which is Kathy Barrick's daughter, is just a brilliant artist. And she just came out with her first punch needle patterns. So she posted it on Instagram. And so I saw the post, and I went right over to her shop, and I ordered this flower basket. I thought, you know, this would be so nice to it looks like it's going to be fairly easy to learn on because there's a decent amount of space for each color. So, you know, not a lot of small punches to try to do an intricate pattern. So I thought, all right, this will be one that I work. And plus I'm supporting someone who's you know, brand new, starting out with her own line. So anyway, I got that, really love that. So, and she sent the sweetest little card with it, you know, as a thank you for helping her, you know, launch her patterns. So I'm always happy to do that, right? The other thing about this community is everybody is so supportive about certain things, and I really appreciate that. So my last purchase, and I actually have these in the shop as well, is Needlewood Press, you know, put out their 2020 Book of Days, the Stitcher's Calendar. So gotta have this. So it's really nice. Lots of room for notes and musings, and she's got some nice little, you know, spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. Can't go wrong with positivity on every page for every month. So up here you are my sun, my moon, and all my stars. I just love this. I just love this. I've got several retreats that I'm signed up for 2020, and I'm looking at a couple other retreats, and then I thought, you know what, I've got to do something to make sure I'm not overcommitting myself here. So I got this, and I love it. And then it was interesting, I just watched Brenda and the Serial Starter, Brenda and Laura, their FlossTube, and they had gotten these at the Attic when they went to the Attic's retreat with Blackbird Designs, was a couple of weeks ago. And I guess they had been given these, so I was like, oh, I just got those. So, but anyway, have them in the shop, so if you're interested. The nice thing about that is you can also, I kind of want to put out my plans a little bit better than what I have in the past for what I want to stitch. Even though I don't always stick to it, at least I've got some kind of a guideline, because sometimes you pick something out and you're excited about it, and then you get, you know, Stitcher's ADD, and because you see something else or somebody posts something else, and next thing you know, you're off, you know, down the rabbit hole. And I thought, you know what, if I actually have this book with a kind of a plan, even though I may not stick to it 100%, I'm going to use it as a pretty hard guideline to try to make sure that the things that I have already started, I try to get finished, and, you know, have that plan that I stick to. So this, anyway, best laid plans, right? Famous last words. Anyway, I'm going to give it a shot. So going into my plans, well, let me back up. Okay, so last time I showed you what I had on my lap, which was, so this time I remember the pattern. The Primitive Merry Christmas Pillow by Abby Rose Designs that everybody is stitching, and I love it. I can see why. I've had this in the shop and I've had to reorder like 3 times. I just got a bunch in again because as soon as I get them in, they're gone. And last time when I showed you, I think I just had these 2 and part of the berries done, these 2 leaves and part of the berries. But now I've been able to finish all the foliage and the airy in and part of the M. I was stitching on this last night and just got so sleepy I had to finally just put it down. But I'll finish up the M and then Christmas across the bottom, and she's good to go. So I think I am going to go ahead and finish it as a pillow and probably put it into maybe the centerpiece of my dough bowl. We'll see. This is the PTP brash that she called for. I did change the outline. She's calling for Weeks Loden, and I'm using Gentle Art Chives. And then for Merry and Christmas, she called for 3371 DMC, so that dark brown. And I actually changed it to Weeks Rust. I really like the color. And it's got a real subtle variegation, but it's not quite brown, not quite maroon. It's just a really nice color. So anyway, I changed it to that. So that should be finished probably tonight or tomorrow, which is going to leave me a hole in my stitching repertoire. And then the next thing I have is, you'll remember I was working on Jack Frost Tree Farm, Little House Needleworks. and I had told y'all what I was going to do for finishing. And this is just on here with magnets. I replaced the deer with the truck that is from one of the other patterns in the series. So what I did was I moved the candy cane directional sign over, put the truck in. These two trees in the snow were from the pattern with the truck. I just added another little tree further up, a little higher, to give it a little more dimension. And then this is all the same as what's on the pattern. This is all the same as what's on the pattern. I did go in, and instead of the big snowflake that she had, I added another tree with some snow. I just really wanted it to look like when you're pulling up and you go trudging through with your kids to find that perfect tree. So that's why I did that. And then, so I finished it on here. I just mounted it. I had found this at Walmart and thought, oh gosh, you know what? That's going to be, that would be perfect for that. The only thing I'm going to do that I actually have ordered some tiny balsam garland. Woo, you'll see so it just sticks on there with the craft magnets. So I'm going to probably wrap that little balsam garland around the edging. I didn't want anything floofy because it's trees. It's kind of outdoors, right? So that's what I meant. So that's finished and an FFO 95% done. I'm almost positive I'm going to have that little balsam leaf garland whenever it gets in. So the nice thing is that leaves me a couple spaces in my stitching plans. So last night I was digging through going, okay, what am I going to add to it? So I just got my punch needle and primitive stitcher Christmas edition, winter edition. Love this magazine. And this one was so nice and had such good patterns that I was happy with it. So I was flipping through here and I happened to see this Bonnie Woomer design. She's from the Nebby Needle, designer behind the Nebby Needle. Santa's Ride. Oh, I just love that. So I think I'm going to stitch this one. It's not going to be super huge. It's like 153 wide by 59 high, 8 1/4 by 3, and that's if you do it on 36 count vintage cedar plank. So that one's going to be next on my lap. Then I pulled out 3 or 4 more other patterns that I'll, depending upon how I do with some of these smalls, I'll see if I can get through. The Scarlet House, Be of Good Cheer. This is one I've had in my stash for, I guess really since you put it out, probably 3 or 4 years. And Christmas Cookies from Country Cottage Needleworks. I'll change those colors. She called for cherry tomato. I'll probably go more like a ribbon red. And hot cocoa. So I don't have a tremendous amount of smalls, and I just got my first dough bowl, I guess about 3 or 4 months ago, because the first things I put in it were at the tail end of the patriotic season. And so I think that, I'm kind of looking for more smalls. I don't hang ornaments on my tree, stitched ornaments. And so but I do love the idea of filling the dough bowl, and I've got a couple of wrought iron racks that have hooks on them, and so I will hang some things on that. So I wanted to, stitch a few more of those kinds of things to hang on there. Which takes me to showing you what's going to be going up on the walls. As you can see behind me, I did get, actually yesterday or the day before, I kind of started getting things switched out from Thanksgiving and fall to Christmas and winter. And so I will show you some of those things. It was interesting, I showed you a couple of the Thanksgiving, like Gobble and Delivering Plenty last time, and as I was pulling things down off the wall, I was like, well, good grief, I just missed a couple of these things. So I'll show you those real quick before they get packed away for the year. So this one was my rendition of Be Thankful from Country Cottage Needleworks. I had seen this tobacco basket at Walmart again, and loved it. So I actually bought the picks, a couple of these picks with the pumpkins, and added them to this just to make it a little bit more like what I wanted, and then modified the design to kind of match with the pumpkins a little bit better. So you can see I used, I believe it was frosted sage in here for my pumpkin here, and then I left off, like she had the green, banner that went across the top and across the bottom, and I left that off because I wanted it to fit the specific size. This, it's like a galvanized metal ribbon that, that goes across, you can see on both sides, that goes across there, just says welcome. And so I just attached that with some craft magnets right across. So I can still pull that off and put this up in the fall. They'll really be thankful. You should be thankful all the time anyway. So it really doesn't have to be, Thanksgiving specific. But anyway, so that was one that I failed to show you. And then this one, I stitched this so long ago and framed it so long ago, and it probably should be reframed because I didn't do such a hot job of getting it mounted. But this has been, I must have stitched this is on 14 count Aida, and I haven't stitched on Aida for 15 years at least. So I stitched this a long time ago. It probably is a Dimensions leaflet or Leisure Arts leaflet, I'm not even sure. But anyway, I still love it. I think it's a beautiful cornucopia. The colors are really bright and beautiful. So anyway, so this one was on the wall as well. So those will get packed away now. And what's going back up on, so what's hanging around, is going to be, and I'll actually show you this one I already had up. This is where it sits. This one I finished at the beginning of 2019, or had framed at the beginning of 2019. I finished it somewhere around the beginning of this year. A Merry Heart by Plumstreet Samplers. And I guess what makes it kind of Christmassy is the reindeer. But I stitched this because I love that reindeer and I love that house. That checkerboard is so cool. And it just turned out really beautiful. It's stitched on PTP ale. And it was kind of a darker piece of ale. So, but I really love it. And I had it framed with no glass just because I love that prim look to it. So, anyway, that came out just super. I was really super happy with it. So, this one actually sits right back here. So, let's put that back. Okay. One of the next things that I actually finished this last year as well, Ornamental Joy from Country Cottage Needleworks. And this one, you can see it's just a flat finish, right? So, and I have it actually mounted on a gold tray, which I haven't fully gotten all the Christmas decorations out yet. So when I get to that box that has the tray in it, then I'll put it in there. But I just mounted it. It's on 3 boards. So you've got this one with some batting on it, and then I wanted that liner piece it's like a green, Christmas green. You can't see much of the decoration of the fabric because it's covered. But then I had this ornament fabric that I thought, oh my gosh, that'll be just perfect. But I didn't want to hide it with just a small. So the tray that I have is really long, really rectangular. So I thought, well, I'm going to leave this because you need to see the ornaments. Otherwise, it kind of defeats the purpose. So that turned out really cute. And then it goes in the tray. And then one other one that I finished that was part of the 'Tis the Season Sal. This gorgeous cardinal. And I finished him in 2018, so that's the year I put on. And I just did it as 'Tis the Season. Everybody was scrambling, I know, to stitch this one. They had re-released it in the Home for the Holidays book. But I actually had it in the Joyous Noel book, which was an older book, and that particular design was the reason that I bought that Joyous Noel book. And then when it got re-released on Home for Holidays and everybody decided to do the Sal, I was like, wait a minute, I don't need to buy that Home for the Holidays. I'm pretty sure I already have this. And sure enough, it was in that book. So, but I'd had the book for quite a while and hadn't stitched it. So the Sal pushed me into going ahead and stitching it and finishing it. So, and then I finished it myself, and the frame is just like an open wood thing from Hobby Lobby. So one of the other ones that'll get ready to hang is Winter. And I believe that this was just out of, I think it was a December Just Cross Stitch magazine, and I don't even know how long ago. It's the date that I have on the back was 2007, but it could have even been an older magazine because I've had that subscription forever. I added the button just because I happened to see the button, his scarf color matched the scarf color here. And I thought, oh, isn't he cute? So I'm just going to put him on. So I added that. And then Santa's wish list. Wider chimneys, no pouting, better hours, more cocoa. And can't we all use more cocoa? Oh, sorry about that. The light's the sun just all of a sudden decided to come out. So this one sits, so I have a silver easel. Sometimes I hang it, just depends. I may actually hang him right there where my rooster mold is. I may pull that down and hang him up there. My decorations are never the same from year to year. As I pull things out, or you add things throughout the year or whatever, and I don't know, each year it's almost always different. So just kind of whatever my mood is, I guess, whenever I'm pulling things and unpacking things, and it's like, oh, maybe I'll put that this year, and so everything, it's always different every year. And then the one big last piece that goes on the wall is one of my absolute favorites. This is Eloquent Christmas by Bygone Stitches. And I think you can kind of just see the shimmer. I did that on one of the PTP crystal fabrics, and I believe it's Wren. I wouldn't swear to that. But it was one of the crystals, so you can just see that shimmer in the fabric. And then I had switched to English Ivy, Classic Colorworks English Ivy, and then used the beads, because these are all Mill Hill beads. So anyway, I just love this. It's always one of my favorites to actually hang. It's really pretty. And then for my dough bowl, I just had some little ones that I finished up, and I did most of these last year. So Lizzie Kate Flip It December, and just added a cute little button and a little holly leaf and finished it like that. And then I believe this is Scissor Tail Designs, Noel, and now this is one of the things that I was talking about, that I have a wrought iron shelf that has some hooks, and so I'll hang these on the hooks. And then the last one is Peppermint. And you can kind of see the holly fabric there, just wrapped it. I love finishing like these, where you do two boards and then, mount them together, sandwich them together. There's a little bit of batting in there as well, but I just think that turns out so cute when you do it like that. So cute. So that's what's going to be going up. So we've done haul and what's going up, my finish, and my plans. So last couple of things, I don't want to keep you too long. Last couple of things is actually some shop news. So if you don't want to listen to that, that's fine. I would like some opinions, if you guys wouldn't mind to comment. I had a person who contacted me through the shop, and her mother had just passed away, and her mother had been a stitcher from, well, clearly from the early 80s from some of the things I received. Anyway, her mom had passed. Her father just wanted to start cleaning out the house and get things out. So she sent me some pictures, and she had a 4-drawer file cabinet, metal file cabinet, that each drawer was absolutely stuffed full, and she had them all nicely categorized of patterns and cross-stitch magazines and just all kinds of stuff. And then she had a stand that she sent to me. It's a lap stand. She had, I can't even tell you, I got 2 huge boxes full of DMC floss. I've got DMC floss coming out my ears, so if somebody needs DMC floss, message me. She had file boxes that she had put each of, she would put them in envelopes, like, just regular little envelopes with the number on the outside, and then had them in these file boxes. And then at some point she decided to use floss away bags. And so then there was a whole huge box full of floss away bags, all full of DMC. And so that was kind of crazy. And then patterns and fabric and tubes and all kinds of things. He didn't want any money for anything. He just said, if you'll pay for the shipping. So I said, sure, no problem. I'll go through it. And I knew some of those things would be older, but that's okay. Sometimes those designs are still relevant. People love stitching little smalls or little ornaments and things like that. The industry has kind of come back around to doing some of that stuff again. So next thing you know, I had 12 U-Haul boxes that arrived at my house. I'm sure that my postal lady was not a happy camper with me. But I try to make her Ricky fudge and give the little box to her every Christmas. And, you got to kind of keep those people happy, especially as many boxes and things and deliveries that I get all the time. So I wanted to ask to see if what you guys would think if I opened a section of my shop just called Vintage Finds. She had things like this. You can see the 14 count Ada cuff. There's probably, and they're all quilted, but there's probably like 16 of these, I believe, in all different. So she must have had a lot of grandkids, or maybe, the idea to just stitch a bunch of these for her grandkids, put the names on them or whatever. I'm not sure, because otherwise I don't know why you would buy 16, 20 of them. Mason jar covers with just like the 14 count Ada cream tops. There's a bunch of these little things. Tubes. There's the 28 count even weave Monaco. All different kinds. We have blue, light blue, navy blue. There's this is called Linada. I guess maybe they were trying to do, might be like kind of like the Zweigert Ada, which is a little more of, has a little more of a finish, a linen finish into it as well. So it's not quite as stiff. So this one's called Linada. This is 26 count pure Irish linen. I mean, there's tubes and tubes of this. 2 more boxes full of all kinds of stuff. This is Lugana. 14 count Ada in every color under the sun. All kinds of colors. Belfast linen, 32 count. But she had some cool things like this tartan plaid. You can't get this stuff, I don't think, anymore. At least I don't see it anywhere. 14 count, 15 by 15. People would make these pillows. Remember that? And you can see that the age of them, because look at the country style designs, fish and birds and what have you. But you don't have to do that. And the designs today, put whatever you want on there. So I'm thinking about, and it would be, probably like yard sale prices, right? Just vintage finds. If I can find things like this, I would love to be able to have it repurposed, or, someone using it rather than getting tossed out. She had, I can't even tell you how many magazines. Leisure Arts. Well, that's still a really cute design. I love that. I don't think that one's, super aged. Better Homes and Gardens Cross Stitch Christmas. You can always find tons of, Christmas projects. Just Cross Stitch, Christmas Ornaments. Everybody loves the ornament issue. This one is from 1999. So, this is the 2006 Christmas Ornaments issue. There were, I think there were 5 U-Haul boxes full of just the magazine subscriptions that she had. For the Love of Cross Stitch. She had that particular, and these go back into from the 80s all the way into, looks like late 90s with this particular one. Mid to late 90s, and that could be when maybe that magazine went out of business. I'm not sure. But this is really a cool design. I really like that with the quilting stuff. And with the intersection of quilting and cross stitch nowadays. Anyway, so that's, let me know what you think. I would love to see what some of the comments are and see what people think about, something like that. I could just do posts on Instagram and say, if you want it, here's your price. And I may do something like that as well. But I've got so much of it to go through. It may be easy once I've just taken pictures to also post it, put it in the shop. I'm trying to kind of decide, what I want to do with it. But I'm just happy they didn't dump everything and they didn't just, kind of toss it all out and say, oh, well. And it's in good condition. Some of the charts, I will say, she did write her name on them. But that's the only thing. She didn't mark on the inside on the patterns. She kept everything very pristine. Her daughter said that she would make copies, like a working copy, instead of working directly from the chart. So you can tell that because with the age of these, they should be in much worse condition than they are. So anyway, love to know what you guys think. I've taken up enough of your time, and I appreciate you listening to me talk about all my stuff. And until next time, it'll probably be a couple weeks. I might try to get in one more video with hopefully some progress on some of the things you saw with my plans. Maybe a little closer to Christmas, or it could be after Christmas. All the kids are coming home, so we'll see how everything goes. But thank you for your time, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.